Hey everyone, my name is Logan Petty. I'm the product manager at FM Systems, driving our analytics product. I've been in the product role for 10 years. I started off in quality assurance and quickly transitioned over to product management.
And I'm Kasey Hobson. I'm the Director of Product Management at FM Systems, and I lead our platform services. I've been in product, different roles for the past 12 years, and where I started as focusing on solving problems, over time, my passion actually evolved into helping others with good product management practices. Logan and I actually were on the same team at a previous organization. And when I left, we sort of stayed in touch.
Right. I was a PO at the time, and my senior PM and mentor had left the company. I really didn't have anyone to turn to for help to grow as a product manager. But Kasey and I, like she said, kept in touch over that time. And as she was in another role, she continued to share her experiences with me. And that really helped me grow my product management muscle.
I saw Logan had the potential and really a passion around growth and product. She wanted to level up. She had been in a PO role for a long time, but she really wanted to grow into that PM space. And being the product nerd that I am, I naturally wanted to help her and share my experience and all of my knowledge with her. Now, I've been on both sides of the seat, being a mentor and a mentee. I was at the time as well trying to grow my career from a senior product manager to a director level. And so I actually tried to get matched up with someone that I didn't know or have a relationship with, but it really helped me go from one role and great career growth on my side, in addition to helping others.
Is that why you're so passionate about this topic?
Absolutely. Finding a mentor helped me a lot. And then it helped build my mentorship qualities in helping others. You know, it's really an investment, not just for a mentee, but a mentor. It helped me learn leadership, coaching skills. And it was so great to pass that along and see that growth, championing someone else that really paid dividends for me in my career as well.
Yeah, and I have to say it was a game changer for me too, not only professionally but personally. Having exposure to the new perspectives has really helped me develop in my at a professional level. It's encouraged me to look at problems in a different light, but ultimately has allowed me to create better solutions. But mentorship has also impacted me on a personal level. Say 2 years ago, and taking this and submitting an application for speaking at this conference would really have freaked me out. But now I've gotten a lot better, and that was through growth. And I really hope that people who attend this session can feel empowered to reach out to find a mentor and help them in whatever areas they needed growth in.
I totally agree. You know, mentorship from both sides was scary for me. When I decided to be a mentor, I thought, who's going to listen to me? Like, what do I have to offer? And are they really going to want to have my experience and that knowledge? But I had a friend who basically said, you're already doing that. It's not, you don't have to go up to someone and say like, hey, can I be your mentor? You sort of generate this relationship. And we're going to talk a little bit about that around this session. And so I know that I want to be able to make an impact on those lives. Anyone that I come in contact with, whether it's a woman or a man in product, maybe that want a mentor, maybe want to grow in their career or their experience and just don't quite know where to start.
Right. And Kasey, you shared your experience with me to help me grow as a product manager. And ultimately, we want women in product to take the same actions out of the session and see mentorship forming from it.
Absolutely. So let's dive in a little bit into what mentorship is. So, kind of a mentorship at a glance, we hear these terms mentor, leader, coach, and they all kind of mean different things, but they definitely weave together a little bit. I see mentorship really around sharing experience. So, finding a mentor that has experience in your craft, in your industry, has taken that path of growth. It's really great to hear their experience, take that in, and be able to ask questions. So that was a really great thing for me. I had come from multiple companies in different product roles. So I could share the different things that we did, what worked, what didn't work. And then someone can actually take that as a mentee and apply that to their situation. So it was really great to see that and be able to provide advice, guidance, answer questions, and feedback for mentees. Now, coaching, right? That definitely helps. It's part of mentorship, but really that's kind of driving a reflection on your own experience. So a coach will sometimes ask you lots of questions about what you have experienced or what you're going through and the different situation. And it can be a part of mentorship, but it's not really the predominant part. And lastly, is leaders, right? Your mentor or coach doesn't have to be your direct leader, your boss or manager. A leader can really help you set direction and execute on some of that experience. But we're here really today to talk a lot about the mentorship aspect, that mentee mentor perspective, how to be successful in that and grow on that experience.
Right. And Casey, when we first started off, we were in the same department, but you weren't directly over my product. But really, as a mentor, you help expand on the art of project management and make and the skills that make a manager great. And really, at the beginning of our mentorship, I knew I'd mastered a lot of the PO skills, like prioritizing backlog, refinement, sprint planning. And I wanted to push myself to the next level and get involved in more the strategic part of product management. Casey, when you're sharing your experience, you really focused on the areas that I needed to grow in. And some of those were like sunsetting a product or how to gather data on feature usage. You exposed me on how to look at those things at a different angle that don't think I would necessarily have thought of before. Whereas my first mentor, yeah, go ahead.
Logan, I was going to say, I think too, you were very much in the thick of it. There were things coming at you that you were being presented with to have to hop in and do for the very first time. And so it was new to you. And I think that it was really great to see a lot of that strategic work that we could work together on and provide you some guidance on.
Right. And I think my first mentor really helped me through my shyness. So this was great with you and our experience helped me more talk to executives and stuff like that. So that was very great. But based on our past experiences with mentorship, we'd like to share, we like to start by sharing what we've come up with as a critical path for success, for a successful mentorship. And really, first off, you start off with sharing your intentions during that first meeting. What do each of you want to get out of this? And as a mentee, I have certain areas I wanted to strengthen and I did that by asking Casey's for feedback and advice on. And we really set up in that first meeting, really set up the goals and objectives, what helped us both align on what we're trying to achieve during these meetings. We also, by setting those goals and taking ownership, and that ownership leads to success. Success is truly up to you at this point. It's not really like a set it and forget it type of thing. You get out what you put in, basically. And taking that advice and applying it to your everyday work experiences really allowed me to feel more comfortable at work. And it would take that leap of faith and put yourself out there for you to succeed.
Yeah, I know when I meet with mentees, I typically recommend having a notebook, having a place. If you're digital, if you're on your phone, whatever makes sense for you, but jot those notes down because then you can come back to them later and then you have that ownership. The next thing that I would say is like really important is honestly just jumping in. A lot of people are scared or they don't know how to get started. We'll give you some tips and tricks today on where to reach out, how to find a mentor that meets your needs. But it really just starts with a conversation. And it doesn't start with, hey, will you be my mentor? Generally, you start having a conversation and learning more about that person, building trust, going to them for guidance and learning about their experience and how that could apply to maybe some things that you have going on. So starting that conversation, it is easy and you can do it with anyone. And the more you trust someone and more relationship you have, you'll find it a lot easier to build that on. The next thing really is everyone has a gold mine. we're all networked, whether it's within our organization, whether it's previous organizations that we've worked at, but you can always find someone who would be willing to mentor or have conversations about their experience. And even, you may be able to recommend. I've had that happen quite a few times where previous coworkers have reached out and said, "Hey, I have someone new in product. Would you mind talking to them? I haven't talked to these people in 10 years." And so, when you build those relationships, that carries on for a long time. So just reaching across the aisle and saying, "Hey, do you know anybody who knows a lot about design or a specific industry within product that you're trying to someone's trying to grow in," you can put people together and really connect them for sure.
Um, yeah, and someone you already know and trust, that's fairly helpful too. Um, I know that's how we formed our relationship. Do you remember our first ideation process we worked on together?
I do. Yes, I do.
And that really helped us form that process together and get us to know each other. And we were able to form a great rapport after that.
Exactly. And it's really key to have that knowledge of what you want to get out to. Back to sort of, setting your intentions, making sure that you know what you're looking for. If you are going to talk to someone who doesn't have experience in your area, industry, you're going to find it hard to get experience out of them. So you want to make sure that what's the criteria? Do you feel more comfortable opening up and talking to someone who's a woman, who is within your company, maybe that you don't know? It was actually a lot easier for me to mentor someone that I didn't know. No offense, Logan. We had a great relationship, but there's, you have that relationship, and I was a little bit scared for, okay, now what? Since we're in the same company, and so it was a great opportunity to kind of do things differently. So, having that person you know and trust, it allows for you to identify those people. What are those qualities you're looking for in a mentor? Logan, what did you see as me? What attracted you to having me as a mentor?
Probably the most important thing was your in-depth knowledge of product management. I was so impressed by that, and I was like, "You'll be a great mentor to help me through my career."
Well, thank you. Worked hard for that. But a lot of the other things that you'd look for are just people that you know that are good listeners, people that are flexible with conversations, maybe could provide you a diverse perspective into what you're dealing with right now. Hopefully, you didn't see me as judgmental, because I want to make sure that I'm an open book and can take in any situation that's happening so that people feel comfortable and having those honest conversations, because sometimes they do need to be hard conversations with feedback and helping people grow. So that's really important. So, really finding somebody who has the experience, maybe somebody you know or don't know. Even if it's someone you don't know, reaching across the aisle, LinkedIn is a great resource. Anyone has, 6 degrees of separation. I did some research, and on average, people have 930 LinkedIn connections, which is crazy. Now, that includes some companies, but everybody's part of a company. So if you think about it in that perspective, you would know someone in your network that you probably are thinking about right now that you could reach out to and connect with someone who needs a mentor, or maybe a mentee who's looking for somebody and can do a shout out. So LinkedIn is a great resource. Another great resource is any employee resource groups at your own company. That's been a growth opportunity for bringing people together in a safe space to connect. And that connection really can lead to understanding new experiences, and learning more from each other. Lastly, I'll call out 2 awesome programs that I actually was a part of. One is Dreamy. It was actually through Women in Product that I got involved in this, and got a mentor who helped me go from senior product level to director. And then the Rally Project, which is through the Mom Project, for moms by moms, but you don't have to be a mom to be involved. It was a great program to help boost someone else's career. I met with someone who was in project management, wanted to move into the product side, wanted to know more. What is it like? What should I do? And so that was a really great opportunity to share more of my product experience and that growth with someone, and mentor her into what she now actually has a product owner role at our company. So that's been pretty cool to see that growth. And just remember, it doesn't have to be a woman. It doesn't have to be a mom. Yeah, we do find great value in sharing that connection and similarities, but finding those diverse perspectives and experiences will help you grow all around for sure.
Kasey, do you remember our first official mentorship meeting?
Seriously, I have 3 kids, Logan. I don't remember what we had for breakfast yesterday.
Okay. Well, our very first one, we set up our ground rules. We discussed our cadences of the recurring meetings and also really talked about the flexibility of moving those meetings or even adding new ones. We walked through some of the expectations of our meetings too. Like, again, I wanted to become a stronger PM, and Kasey, you had the in depth knowledge on these areas I could improve on. Um, so, like, I would always mentally prepare for agendas for these meetings. I was like, what's going on at work I need help with? And I'd always jot those down throughout the week because that was really helpful. Because once we got towards our meetings, like sometimes it was hard to recall back what was happening in the week that I wanted to discuss with you. But really, my main goal for our first meetings was seeking advice on topics that was happening at work. That ranged from really presenting, building out competitive analysis documents, and then outlining sunsetting a product. Like, how do you do that? And another thing I really appreciated about it is we always reflected once we had a meeting. The next meeting we had, we always reflected on the progress of some of those projects that you and I had discussed.
Yeah, it's funny because going back to what you said earlier about set it and forget it, I think that's from some sort of infomercial somewhere out there. But we have to do the work, right? It's great to have that space and that time to have those conversations and work through things. But once you leave, you want to be able to carry that through. And it shouldn't be a whole lot of hard work, right? We have a ton of things on our plate, but for us, it was really easy to put the work in. We had great conversations, and because I had that experience, I was able to share it. And if I didn't, I could point you in the right direction of, maybe you should talk to so and so in our company. That way, we could help move you along in that process without feeling like you didn't have an answer. So I saw you grow even when you would come back to those sessions. You would come and say like, okay, like I had this conversation, or I tried to do this, or here's what I put together. What do you think? And so we just continue to have those conversations and evolve that. So it was really great to see my knowledge kind of come down and without telling you what to do, right? Like that's not my job as a mentor is go do this, go do that, but sharing my experience and then you taking that and making your own. So it was really great. And it just seemed to work really well because we had that rapport already, which is something that I think is so key on building a stronger mentorship. It starts with that relationship. So, and look, everybody's not going to be besties with their mentor, right? You may either know them beforehand or you may be meeting them for the first time. And you might not get the vibe at first. I can think back to one mentor I had and I was like, okay, like, what do I say? What do we do here? Like, do I drive? Does she drive? Like, how does this work? And, I think over time, the more we met, the more connection and trust we started to build. And so, it's our job as a mentor to, provide and build that trust with your mentee because they're looking for that information. They're looking for your experience to grow from that. And, it's not always going to be a rainbows and butterflies kind of conversation. We have to learn how to have hard conversations. You want to be able to take them to the next level, right? Logan, you remember you were trying to get more comfortable speaking with executives. And so as a mentor, being able to offer feedback that's non-judgmental, because we do all come from different backgrounds and respecting that, where we may be different in our thought process or how we carry that out, is really key to making sure that that's received but I think at the same time is so important in order to allow for us to grow and maybe kind of overcome a challenge that we hadn't yet so far.
Right. And being engaged in those conversations. Like it's important to build that trust and be, because like you said, it isn't one-sided, where the mentor is just telling you what to do. You should be both actively participating in dialogue, and it's key, and that is key. Um, Also turn off distractions, put your phone away, be thoughtful with your responses. And that's another thing. You don't have to respond right away. For me, I'm a processor. I need time in order to be thoughtful in my responses. So like really what I do is like that's great. Let me jot it down and I'll bring it to our next meeting. And I'll bring a response. I had a mentor one time. He told me that I didn't have to have the answer right away when I was asked. I always felt like I did. And he was like, you can jot it down and email them the answer later. So like he's like, just take time, don't throw it out there.
Yeah, I think we're moving so fast, right? And that's so key when we're talking about engagement, or even just answering questions. It's being able to say, like, being in present moment, being intentional, and really having that time to focus on each other.
And for your meetings, really having them consistent, have a regular cadence of those meetings. I knew I always wanted more meetings around the times of at work we had like larger presentations or anything. And Kasey, that's another thing that was great about our mentorship. You're always flexible in adding those ad hoc meetings, and that was really important for me to get that extra help on them too. And you were always there, so that was really great. And then even the flexibility.
To add to that, like the flexibility, right? Logan, I think it's so important that and I don't know how other people do this, but I took our meetings as just like an executive meeting. I did not want to cancel on you, or if I had to move your meeting, like just reschedule. Don't cancel. Find that time to make sure you have that focus, because as you start to miss those, you start to make people feel like they're not as valuable as the other things on your calendar. And yes, we all have lots of things going on, but being able to show that respect and time that we're putting into it is really important.
Yeah, committing to those meetings. Yes, that was. I always knew that you were going to be there, so that was very helpful for us.
And I think following through and following up, being accountable, that's one of my favorite things to hone in on is going back. It's probably one of my favorite pieces of advice is that just because you have one conversation doesn't mean you're going to become some great product whiz, right? Having a conversation and an action plan and getting guidance and then actually doing the homework. Reading the book that a mentor recommends, or sharing your success back as well, or failure, because then you can reflect on that and say, okay, how could you have done that differently? Or what do you think worked well? Why did it work this time versus the other times you hadn't? So it's really great to have that follow up, ask questions. If I knew Logan was going in for a job interview, I wouldn't wait till the next time we spoke. I would follow up with her and say, hey, like, how did it go? Being interested in that, it was very easy as we learned to open up and share those things as part of our mentorship.
And there wasn't like that massive amount of pressure to achieve everything we had discussed in our meetings. And we did set realistic expectations. So if you offered, say, that book you wanted me to read, I knew I couldn't read it in a week. So you're very open and like flexible with that as well. But like even if I got a couple chapters in, even that incremental success was very valuable to our conversations.
Absolutely. I have a full on Amazon list of books of PM about PM and growth and leadership that I have on my Amazon wish list that I still haven't gotten to, but I've added it, or I bought the book and it's ready to be read. But there have definitely been times where I've had to do that. So all right, so we've talked a lot about our experience between our mentorship and others. But really, what we want to leave everyone with is don't be afraid. Take those steps, have a conversation, reach out to that person maybe that you have a good relationship with already to start a mentorship, or even ask if they could recommend somebody that they could connect you with. Don't let fear get in the way. Like taking that first step, it is a lot easier. And a lot of the programs out there will help provide you with guidance on how to have that successful mentorship. They will provide you kind of templates and notes. And if you don't know, ask somebody who's been in a mentorship. You can definitely do that. But don't be afraid. Step out of your comfort zone because the rewards are amazing.
And set your intentions. Understand what each of you want to get out of this mentorship. Setting those goals and objectives so you're both aligned is very important in this mentorship.
Yeah, because success really is yours, whether you're a mentor or a mentee. We have all of these things going on, but really investing in your growth, whether it's personally, professionally, in a specific craft, whatever it might be, someone else has a different perspective and can offer you a lot of different information that can help you through those experiences. So don't think that you have to jump. I think for me, when I got into a mentorship to grow my career, I was like, okay, like, what do I have to do? What's the next step? Like, very tactical. But it was just a lot of conversations and growth that we experienced through talking about different times in my mentor's career, what approach she took in conversations or the way she approached a specific situation. So even though a conversation may be out of your comfort zone, you can still have those conversations, open up, learn, and take that in with your everyday day.
Right. And be able to share the love, tap into your gold mine, be that person who makes the connections. Again, it's all about connections and sharing with others, not only within a mentorship, but with others who might be interested.
And we're happy to continue to share the love. We're both open to talking about our mentorship experiences, also taking on mentees. I'm always looking to grow. So getting a new mentor, someone who has a great product leadership experience. If you want to be a mentee, you can submit an application via email. Application fees are $50. Just kidding. We are passionate. We love to help others talk about product, about our experiences and mentorship. I know Logan is, she's gone from mentee into a mentor, and we're really hoping to connect with all of you during our live session and after Women in Product. Good luck on finding your mentor.